What's up, YouTube? And I'm back with another video. And tell me this, true or false, you have to flex in order to teach people, in order to be able to reach them, or they'll just drown you out. Whatever your message is, it is go in one ear and out the other because they like, who are you to tell me anything, give me advice, give me some game on something, some information, some knowledge, so I can make it, pass to the next level, maybe avoid certain mistakes. And do people need to see some receipts first without just taking the message? Do I gotta show whatever, my investments, my stocks, my tax returns, my bank account, just so people will actually pay attention if I'm trying to school them on something, help them miss a certain pothole so they don't even have to go through that? Do I have to show this? Yeah, I know it's only $2, but you get my point. I have to show this in order for people to actually turn their head the other way and be like, okay, you're on to something. Or if the person is, what is it, a homeless person, or maybe not even homeless, it's a person that, in your neighborhood that's always asking for some change, a dollar or something like that. But on this day, they decide, they saw you in something and say, hey, let me, back from when I was growing up, just so you don't go down that same path, or just to kind of avoid that situation. Do people tend to turn a blind eye to those type of individuals because they not coming with nothing that shows they put in any type of work? The advice is good, it's good information, but are we always sizing people up before we decide to take knowledge from them? Like, for instance, a person smokes cigarettes, then a person who's plus size tells them, hey, that's not good for your health. Good advice, but then you look at they weight and you like, who are you to tell me about being healthy when look at you? And so we focusing so much on the messenger instead of the message. Now, I'm not like that. I'm not looking you up and down to see how much your shirt costs, or if you got on certain type of sneakers that got status, like the Air Jordan or a Prada or Balenciaga. Looking to see how much your jeans cost, or if you got a certain watch on, before you can tell me, hey, you need to get it together, Matt, or let me pull you to the side, Matt. You can have on tank top and jogging pants, whatever. And if you trying to stop me from going somewhere where now I got the foresight, because we always talk about hindsight being 2020. I can look back and say, yeah, I went through all that, I know. But let's not rule out foresight either. If you can tell me how not to even make that mistake, hey, that's a win for me. That's a plus. So now I get to jump over that and didn't even have to go through that. And then I can tell that to someone else. If I don't have to experience it, whether it be jail or something else, you can tell me, hey, you don't want to go there? Okay, cool. I avoid that one. Now I got the foresight. I didn't have to go through it myself. There are things that we need to go through, but certain things, jail, getting into certain crowds, areas, we can learn that lesson without having to go through it. That's even better. So I'm not the type, I'm looking at the message. The messenger, however she or he may be coming, their appearance doesn't matter to me. But I'm wondering, because I remember Billy Carson, he's on YouTube and he has a video up where he was talking about how he would have his Rolls Royce in the background of his video before he starts teaching, just to grab the attention of the people. Because people, we tend to look like, okay, who are you to tell me this? They got to see something tangible before they pay attention, which isn't a good thing. But is that true that you have to flex before you can teach the people? And I don't mean show off where people, that's the difference. Showing off, I got this, and hey, look what I got. And they may say, if you work hard and you can get it, okay, we understand that. But you're not giving me the steps. You're just basically trying to show off your car collection or whatever that case may be, or where they live. Not talking about showing off. The flex is just proof of I did it. But there's so many people who won't listen to reason unless the person they coming with, they seeing what they drive, and you gotta ask something, how they dress, and see you getting some type of money before they'll sit and pause and actually take in what you're saying. That's how our society is, unfortunately. We always looking at the messenger before we take in the message, saying, okay, well, you'll listen to that person before you listen to that person. They're saying the same thing. But the person that actually lives in this type of house carries more weight to you. And so you're not going to listen to the person that's homeless that could still keep you out of the same situation. So now you end up having to go through whatever it is and then have to know hindsight 2020, man, I should have listened to that person who, didn't have nothing, but they was trying to give me some information, keep me out of certain things. And so I think we got to stop that. I've never been like that, the message is the message. I don't care what you got on. You can give me the foresight of something so I don't have to go through it. Hey, that's even better. Or it may not be even the message about keeping you out of trouble. It can be tips to help you level up, get in on something, introduce you to somebody. But you thinking this person who maybe had less than you can't really push you in that direction, you wipe them away. Like, hey, you had no business talking to me. What you got? You start giving an audit at them. I don't see this. I don't see that. Who are you to talk to me? How you gonna teach me something? But we got to get out of that. We have to stop needing people to show up or have to show up what they got in order for you to just listen and think when they're trying to help you. But since everybody chasing the bag, society got people doing that. The people that are trying to actually teach, they use that bag just to bring you in. Like, hey, look. And then you finally listen. But I guess that's the way it's got to be. You got to flex in order to teach people, unless they drown you out. Then at this point in time, then that's the way to do it. And that's for anybody else who trying to get through to somebody and maybe, they're not really taking in what you're saying. They might be sizing you up and just think that you don't got it like that, so why am I listening to you? So you might have to show something in order to save them. Even if it's your own children. Some children might not look at their parents as having much, and so they don't even take advice from them. But they'll take advice from who they see in the music video because they just showing more. That's just how people are, materialistic. So this person has to know something. I see what the car they got in the music video. And so that's how we get influenced, unfortunately. But the people in the music video just doing the song, depending on the song, but most of the songs, they're not, they actually showing off, It's not even just a flex. They're not trying to teach. And it's entertainment, that's cool. But we come back into reality where people need to be taught. They still giving more of a airtime to the person that's actually able to show receipts. And showing receipts is not a bad thing. I'm talking about receipts, not what I have, my material stuff, but just A, B, C, how to do it. Hey, this is how. Just so you proven that you know what you're talking about. I get that part. But to even get people to get to you on that level, you still got to show a watch or something like that, just for people to be like, okay. And hopefully some get lost after that, unfortunately. And I don't know what to say about those people. They see something that somebody got that they want, but then they tune out after that. They just want to look at other people and live through them, which is, not good. But you will have people sitting up there and just have what I call product placement. They send, so you see the watch or a certain type of shirt on, just so now, that catches the people's attention. So first, you see that person with the shirt on, oh, is that a... And so now that's just, if you listen to someone on the video, you just see somebody about to try and give you some information out in a public place, But you already seen how they dress, so now you already done made up in your mind, I'm willing to listen because this person, you know, must have something going on with themselves. They got on a nice outfit. And so now you willing to sit down and listen to whatever game they're trying to give you. But if you see a person pushing a grocery cart outside and it's got a mop in there and some other old stuff, and they just always around the neighborhood, when they try and tell you what it is, you all of a sudden, like, how you gonna teach me something? You start going off. Look at you out here. How you gonna tell me anything? And you out here pushing this cart around. I see you every day in the neighborhood and this is all you do. But they might have some vital information. They dropping some things on you to try and keep you from pushing that cart based on maybe how they seeing you around the neighborhood, depending on what you're into. But we tend to look the other way with these people because they can't flex in order to get your attention, in order to even teach you. They just get wrote off. They giving the same information as the person that's got the nice car, but we looking for the messenger to be a certain type of way. People so picky, and the messenger has to look a certain way, has to dress a certain way in order for you to actually learn. The only place that the messenger can look plain is school, because your parents got you there, and if you go to college now, you're trying to get a piece of paper so you can take it to a job so they can pay you money. That's the only reason you paying attention to that person. But other than that, so when school is over, but learning never stops, people only choose who they want to get their lessons from based on the look. And we shouldn't be like that. Like I said, I'm not like that. I listen to the person pushing the cart outside, okay? Who knows what they can drop on you to try and avoid that same situation. That's all I'm saying. But is that true? Do you have to flex? For anybody out here who's, if you having to give advice and you're just not getting through to even your own children, has advice worked? Have people actually listen to you when you show up? You dress nice, and now you got a different presentation, and now the people are actually taking in, it's staying with them, the knowledge that you're giving, whether it be your own children, if you have children, or just somebody else, your own friend, your own brother, your own cousin. Did they finally be like, okay, because you came with a certain type of look, even though the message is still the same? Has anybody experienced that? Where, okay, now when I tried to talk to somebody in the neighborhood, I'm just out there doing yard work and ain't really dressed, my best. And I'm maybe trying to say something to the children in the neighborhood, and they just, wave you off. But then when they see you're not doing the yard work, you're about to go out to an event, you dress nice, and they see you walk into your car, and they like the car, and then all of a sudden they more willing to listen to whatever game you're trying to give them, and just not be all into themselves and be like, okay, have you all experienced that just in your own personal experience on an individual level, where you get in through to more people once you look in a certain way, versus you just out there doing work in the yard, you're not in, obviously your best clothes, and people don't know, and you try and give them some advice, and they're like, And it's not just a child thing. You got grown people who will not listen to any type of financial advice, things like that, relationship advice, if the person not looking a certain type of way. Before you even get into the whole thing, like how you gonna talk to me about marriage, you ain't been married and all of that, people going for that look first. They want to make sure the messenger is dressed a certain way before you even talk about anything. Even stuff that don't have nothing to do about getting you more financial gains so you can go out and buy more materials. Something that's relationship that don't have nothing to do, not necessarily with money from the jump, whatever it is. It's true that people have to have a certain type of look about them. I need to see proof that you got something going on with yourself before we listen. And is it certain advice that you miss out on because the messenger doesn't look like how you feel they should look to be able to teach you something? Now, everyone is different. Some people, the messenger can look like whatever, but it's the information. And that information has taken you a long way. Because obviously everybody, they're not in a position to flex. They don't have anything. But they got this up here, and it can keep you away from things. But I think a lot of people who try and teach, especially if they're doing videos, wherever they do them at, YouTube, what have you, they putting out, having a certain watch on, or they may have a certain vehicle in the back. They make sure, because that catches the people's attention, and then they can actually give them some actual knowledge. But they're doing that to catch you. And hopefully one day, that'll change, where people just come through with the message. And you don't have to show your tax returns for people to be like, okay, I'll listen to you now and all of that, Because you just never know what people own. You showing your bank account, your tax returns, so you can teach people about money. And then they stop right there. They see all of that, and now they plotting. Instead of them trying to go and get their bank account up, they just say, hey, we just want to take yours. Thanks for showing us. Now we know dollar amounts and everything. And now you're not even doing that to show off. That's just your way to reel the people in. And so maybe they can actually start making the steps they need to get their finances in order. Or just life advice. You want to do life coaching or a motivational speaker. Motivational speakers, I've seen them, they dress nice when they go. I mean, obviously they'll have to be when they're speaking in front of crowds. But all they doing is speaking. You can be a homeless person speaking and can still motivate a person. But you're not about to sit and listen to a motivational speech from people who you feel aren't dressed apart. They don't have to be homeless. Everybody got their levels of where they feel they can be talked to. If you got this and this, okay, then I'll give you 5 minutes of my time and go from there. But if you're not looking the part, people will miss the jewels that you're trying to give them. And we have to get out of that. How many people didn't listen to a person because they didn't have a vehicle, and so they felt that they couldn't learn nothing from them. So the flex isn't there. They're not seeing nothing like, hey, where's the product? And the product was just word of mouth, but you missed it. So now you have to go through that and then give the whole hindsight is 2020 story, where you could have had the foresight and was able to go around that. But all because you looking at the messenger first before the message, you don't see the flex there. Like, hey, this person, he trying to tell me something. Look, I got more than them. It's not about that. But I get why people are trying to teach, and if they're doing it through a video, they dress a certain way. They may have something flashing. I never do any of that, I just give the information, but other people, they may throw something on, and I get why they're doing it. Because people will still judge you and think, well, who is this saying, what they got? And so it's crazy. But we got to get out of that, man. Shouldn't have to flex in order for people to learn. Giving you game, people giving you knowledge, help you avoid certain pitfalls without you having to go through them. Saving your life, changing your life. But we just, so materialistic, and that's why the teachers will come through with the materialism. And then sometimes they even get it bad because you take the flex for a show off, when no, they just trying to reel you in, so you at least will pay some type of attention because you figure this person got something because they know how this works. until there's a paradigm shift where people actually would just listen to the information without the messenger having to be suited and booted or have their car right in the background if they doing a video, or even in person. If they see you coming, they see you pull up, you can't just be walking in. They have to see something out there, a nice truck or whatever. So if you even do get into that type of conversation, they'll actually be listened to, because the people sizing you up and you just somewhere and they trying to give you some game, is people that will just like, yeah, because they not seeing, proof of concept, like, man, what you got? But we have to get out of that. We have to get out of that. Shouldn't have to come looking like royalty just to give information. I'm giving you jewels right there. But is that true? Do we, and I mean, I'm sure you all have seen it, do we have to look a certain way in order for people to take the information from us? Just on the individual level. You don't even have to be doing a video where many will see, just on a one-on-one. People you know. Even for people who may go speak in front of children, or just maybe it's some people that speak in prisons, do you feel they taking the message if better, they more receptive if you come in there and you got on a nice suit, guys or ladies, you dress nice? Will the people seem to be like, okay, you seem to have it going on, we'll listen to you? Versus, you come in there just dressed down, stuff, what you clean the house in, just some shorts and a regular t-shirt, and they like, this look like somebody that was just at the park playing ball. What you got to say to me? I'm not, even though they still don't know your background. You got the vehicle, you got a nice home, but you're not here for that. We're just trying to drop some jewels so you can avoid certain mistakes. So I hope one day people get out of that and just focus on the message, and just not having to have people who have to go out of their way to show stuff, especially for their own well-being. Because even when you just having something showing in the background, if you're doing a video trying to reach people, they see, a painting, whatever it is, anything that shows that you got some type of money, and then instead of them trying to learn from the message, they like scheming on you, trying to steal from you. And that's a whole other sad story there when it's coming to that, instead of them actually taking in the information that you're giving. Because that's the only downside of having to flex to get the information out there, is you got people who not trying to take any information in, and when you showing all of that, they next up is to try and find you and take it from you. So, and then, now you don't lost your stuff, and then them people going to jail, hopefully everything, you get your stuff back, but they end up in jail when the whole point of how they just listen to you, you won't be anywhere in jail. The message ain't for you to come and take my stuff. The message is, hey, this is how to avoid certain things, even so that you might have been through. And I'm trying to get you all not to even have to deal with the path I went down. But people just hard-headed because the messenger has to look a certain way. People have to see green somewhere, not even if you're not even holding up the actual money, but see something where they know there's some money somewhere in the background. You got something. You look like you got something, so I'll listen to you. Versus a homeless person telling you the same thing, but you just drown them out because it's like you have nothing to say to me. You don't have nothing to show for it. And don't let you have more than them, then people really just feel like they can't take advice. We keep putting people in these slots and here and here and here, when the message is all balanced right here, no matter who it's coming from. But, I understand why people do the flex first in order to get people to pay attention. That's just where people are at. There's people on this hamster wheel, chasing the bag, trying to pay bills, trying to get student loans paid off. And so if you're not looking like someone who can actually help pay their stuff. If they personally knew you and couldn't get $300, they not seeing where you seem like you had it. Not that they would ask you for it because that's their own personal bills, but if you ain't looking like you got it like that, and people just like, okay, and miss out. Like I said, I don't care how you come looking. I'm taking the jewels. I like the foresight. That way, you might keep me from having to go through something. And I can tell that story to someone else and be like, oh, you went through that? No, somebody who did. Or maybe they didn't. And now they passing it to me, and I'm passing it to you. So now we getting more success stories of people not even having to go through that hardship, especially if that hardship is jail. If that hardship is jail. And so now you stay free on the outside and able to be an example to the next person coming up, your children or whoever, neighborhood kids. And then we start a new cycle, a different cycle. I'm all for foresight 2020. I know the term is always hindsight is 2020. We can look back and see, oh yeah, I went through that. But let's try and get on foresight is 2020, where you're getting the information and you didn't even have to experience that pain. All thanks for the tip, no matter how the person looks. Foresight is 2020. Let's start trying to go with that. Are there some things we need to go through? Yeah, that don't involve jail or anything like that, getting in legal trouble. It's just building character. Sometimes you got to fail and succeed. I get that. Somebody might tell you're trying to pitch an idea. That's fine. Build character. Okay, that's going to motivate me. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm just talking about so many pitfalls out here, whether it be through relationships and with family and friends, where we will end up suffering, and it's suffering that didn't have to happen because we don't want to take in the message. I'm talking about stuff like that. You seen what this did to that family and had tore them apart. So hey, let's avoid that. Foresight is 2020. Hindsight is too, but if we can get it without having to go through it and then bring that, oh man, it make you even more powerful. So what do you all think? True or false? I got to flex. I got to show what I got in order to reach people, to teach them. Otherwise, they'll just ignore, drown you out. Has that been your experience? Yes or no? Let me know down in the comments what you guys think. And, hopefully one day this will change and people will just take the information and not worry about the messenger. Put that down in the comments, where you all stand on it. And like, share, and subscribe to the channel as always. Facts or feelings. No spaces, all one word. Put that in a YouTube search, facts or feelings, and my channel comes right up. And remember, foresight is 2020. You don't have to go through everything to learn. I'm out.